A lot needs to be done about sort of really slimming down websites and really slimming down content and making them ultra specific to that target audience.
Hello and welcome. This is Velocitize Talks and I'm Lauren Cox. I'm here with Shaan Nicol today from Chillybin, CEO and founder of Chillybin. So Shaan, I'd love to hear a little bit about Chillybin and what differentiates you in the market.
Yeah, hi. Thanks for having me on. So Chillybin, we're a web design agency. Obviously, we've been around for about 14, 15 years now. And really our main focus is really about prospect experience design and trying to work out how to get a user from point A to point B as easily and as effectively as possible, making sure that your website gives enough information at every kind of part of that stage to enable that sort of checkout process or that conversion process to happen.
You're in the business of creating engaging and attractive websites, but you're also in the game of creating emphasis and boosting revenue. So tell me a little bit about how you balance those.
Yeah, so it's a bit of a kind of struggle, I guess. A lot of people that come to us are essentially looking for a new website, and that's usually because their existing website has sort of sat there for 3 or 4 years and nothing has happened with it. So we really try and focus on what the goal or the main KPIs are going to be for this website and look at sort of developing a strategy to work backwards from that. So, for example, if you were selling, let's say, a service for $5,000 per month, how do we work out the maximum viability to get people to sign up for that service? And if it means, developing the website as one part of it, developing lead magnets and also developing sort of an advertising strategy around that, we sort of put all those together in a big sort of funnel to make sure that the KPIs or the end goal is, I guess, achieved at the end.
Can you expand a little bit more on project experience design and how that works in for leads from a website?
Yeah, sure. So prospect experience design or kind of purposeful user flows is essentially a journey that the user will take from point A, point B to point C. And we try and effectively manage that as best as we can. So when someone comes to your website or to a website, 9 times out of 10, they'll probably have 5 or 6 of your competitors open in different tabs at the same time. So it's about differentiating yourself against the competition and also making sure that the user can see themselves in that journey as well. So a lot of websites that you go to would have an explanation of the products and the services that they have from their perspective. And what we try to do is really focus down on who the target audience is. And therefore, we really kind of focus on making sure that the website is targeted to that target audience. And that target audience can therefore see themselves in the website. And there's obviously backed up things like case studies, blog articles, and testimonials so that they can see that like-minded people or people that have the same problem as they do have found an effective solution through this provider.
So that really leads me to how do you use user-centric design in this process? So how do you work that into your process?
Yeah, so there's a few key things that most pages or the key pages should cover. So positioning statement, obviously on your homepage, who are you, what problems are you solving, and how can you do that effectively? And then it flows down to things like what work you've done, testimonials and case studies and things. So we really try and push people from a service-based website to a homepage to an about page, which is really all about positioning, and then across into your service pages, and then from your service pages across to a checkout, which is a contact us form for the most part. So typically, once you get to the bottom of the page, we'd make sure that there's some type of call to action as well. So the user doesn't have to think about navigation. They're really presented with all the right information at the right time. So it's just a logical flow through those steps.
And so when you say analogical flow, does that really mean you're viewing the website as well from a user experience, but also a cognitive lens? Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. So, I mean, and then you throw in the Google side of it as well, right? So it has to be written for the user, for the target audience user, as well as, making sure that the business still gets out that, we are different because of X, Y, and Z. It's about sort of positioning it backwards and saying, we are the best because of X, Y, and Z. And also, if you have this problem, then we are the right solution provider for you because of those reasons as well. And then that's obviously supported by additional content like blog content and testimonials and case studies, which obviously reinforce that positioning as well.
I like those points because that really leads me to my next question, which is around, where do you think at the moment brands should invest their time, their resources, money to really accelerate their digital presence?
Yeah, I think a lot needs to be sort of spent in really understanding who your target audience is. And, it's easy enough to go out and grab a template, put your content into that template, and you have a website. Is that website going to be effective? Most of the time, no, because it doesn't actually speak to anyone. It fulfills, the business objectives of having a website, but it doesn't actually fulfill any, marketing, KPIs or objectives in terms of positioning yourself to that target audience. So I think a lot needs to be done about sort of really slimming down websites and really slimming down content and making them ultra specific to that target audience. And that's not to say that it's just one target audience, but I think your main target audience where you're going to get the biggest sort of bang for your buck out of that, expense, then making sure that it's targeted towards those people as much as possible. And then your secondary markets will follow in from there as well. And that's where you can talk about having different landing pages that might be a little bit more ultra targeted than a more generic homepage would.
You use predominantly WordPress at your agency. Have you been seeing some really innovative ways of using WordPress with your clients, or trends that you're seeing with your clients?
We've used WordPress predominantly, I guess, for about 14, 15 years now. I started with WordPress a very long time ago when it was Cafe Log and then B2 and then went away and worked corporate for a while and then came back. But there's a lot of different things in the headless way that WordPress is going, as well as sort of the advancements in Gutenberg. We haven't done too many full Gutenberg websites, but we're definitely delving into that and building custom blocks. And we've used Genesis for a long time as well. So we're definitely sort of putting a lot into that. We haven't found anything really that we haven't been able to do using WordPress. But we have a financial client in Singapore, Fullerton Fund, and we pull through financial data and save that in the database and then project that across different charts and different tables and things. So that's all an automated process. The data comes in from Bloomberg every 3 or 4 times a day, and then that gets charted out and saved within the database, and then they can change that content. Working a little bit with sort of headless and JSON work as well for some another client in Singapore doing a dive boat. So he has a booking engine that we've built, which is all in React, and then moving that across and making sure that that flows into a custom user dashboard as well. So as well as your sort of standard marketing site, there's a lot that we've been able to do with WordPress, just using, out of the box, essentially functionality that it comes with nowadays.
What words would you describe for digital marketing today, and why?
I think there's just a lot of options out there, and you can sort of be spread too thin. And I think, words may be a little bit hard for me to put into a couple of words, but I think kind of best bang for your buck and the best objectives are really about sort of niching down and working out that target audience and spending your time and money where they are going to be. It's all in well saying, I have 6 social media channels, but I'm getting 2% visibility on it. I don't see any point in that. We're actually having a lot of success with traditional email marketing as well, making sure that if we are communicating to those, both for us and for our clients, that it's regular, it's easy to digest, it's linking out to more information. So really the traditional markets are still kind of working for us, for a lot of our clients as well, as long as they're being done effectively.
We love to finish an interview with a question around inspiration. So what gets you pumped up in the morning, excited to go to work, creative for your clients?
Yeah, well, we've just moved and opened a second office here in Brisbane in Australia at the moment. So that's been a lot of the core focus, is about expanding the business and getting into a secondary market. And then all the fun stuff that it revolves around having two agencies, or two locations. So we've been changing our website from a .com.sg to a .co, and then all the SEO around that as well. But what really sort of excites me in terms of my client work is really solving problems. And a lot of times people will come and, they don't necessarily know what the problem is at the start as well. So we spend a lot of time really digging into that and working out what the problem is, what the solution would be, and sort of a little bit of category design work, and making sure that if we are helping them to achieve this goal, how can they stand out amongst the competition? Because there's a lot of websites that look exactly the same and say exactly the same thing. So it's a matter of trying to work out how we can make them stand out against the competition.
Awesome. Thanks, Shaan. That is Shaan Nicol from Chillybin. And thank you very much for joining us, Shaan.
Cool. No worries. Thanks for having us.